All right. You piqued my interest. Let's explain this further. Like, what do you got for me? Blake Griffin? Is it coming off the bench, Blake Griffin?
I think it's a starting Blake Griffin playing reduced minutes, playing that 30 minute a night game. We really saw that they kind of missed a body. Bam Adebayo was good. He was injured. There's a risk involved, but you got to look at the other guys around the league. So, if you want a Chris Paul, you got to pay for him, big contract, non-guaranteed. I still think they've got to move Jimmy Butler to the point full time. You saw in that series what he can do. He's played point for Philly. He's played point for Miami and created, but he can't do it on his own. I think adding Blake Griffin to the lineup, one, gets a bad contract out of Detroit because Detroit are rebuilding. They're never going to win a championship with Blake Griffin there. But they potentially can get some, Derek Jones Jr., maybe potentially another rookie, another two-way guy. And Miami have got some picks. Get some second-round picks or a late first-round pick coming into the 2022-23 season. I think there's definitely cap for both sides. Detroit will want to get money off their books. Why would you be a 25-win team with a $30-odd million contract on the books? There's just no point in doing that, especially one that's been injured so much. He needs to get a kind of a win-now team. He can be more productive, less of him. That's a terrible camera work, by the way.
All right.
Less of him taking the ball and playing, that weak side, low block, bully ball. More of him just, spacing, spreading the floor, but also slowing the pace down and putting a body on big defenders. Miami was fantastic playing fast, small ball with Bam, who's 6'9" at the center, excellent. But as you and I saw, as we discussed the whole season, they didn't have two bodies to throw at the Lakers. And that's going to be even worse if Philly gets anywhere with a big lineup like Simmons and Embiid. If they manage to sort out their lineup, how does Miami counteract that? I think, Miami's got the go where all to work, through any other team. But you trade for Chris Paul, you're going to have to give up Duncan Robinson, Tyler Hero. I wouldn't do either. You trade for Paul George, you're going to have to give up one or the other, plus, a decent first-round pick. Maybe Blake Griffin is happy staying there the rest of his career. He wants to win a championship, never has, didn't with the Clippers. He's a guy that's been in the league a long time, always touted to be, he was the last rookie all-star, and has kind of done nothing, and injuries have hampered the back end of his season. But he's had 12 months off plus to get his body back into condition. I say that they go for it. You can pick him up for next to nothing. You're going to get another body to throw at LeBron and AD, and you're going to get a scorer. He's still productive. He's still getting 18, 20 points a game. You don't have to put the ball in his hands the whole time. He can shoot the ball, and, he's a solid defender.
So is he off contract?
No, 2 years left.
So
2 years of a 5-year, 160.
You're essentially going all in with Blake Griffin. I don't know if I would do that, like, personally. I'd have maybe him buying in as like a glue guy off the bench, maybe. Like, what do you have to get rid of? You have to get rid of Crowder and someone else.
They've got cap space, man. They've got tons of cap space. Huge amount of cap space. They've got enough cap space to sign Chris Paul. Like, Crowder's got to re-sign. Robinson's probably going to get paid this year. He's got to re-sign because he was on a rookie undrafted deal. But they've got enough money. My thoughts behind it is they need a power forward. They moved Jimmy Butler to the point. They need a power forward that's going to turn up. They need a power forward that's going to buy in. I think Jay Crowder's going to buy in, but whether he's actually going to turn up to the finals, it seems like to be the Eric Bledsoe of power forwards, just doesn't turn up in the finals. Detroit know they're not going to get much for a Blake Griffin contract. It's big, it's 2 years, it's risky. But with Miami, you really aren't losing out on a lot. You've got cap space. It's only 2 years. It's not like he's 4 years left to go. It's only 2 years left to go on that contract. And you're going to get a guy that was an all-star, who has upped his three-point shooting game, who potentially is coming in not as the star, but can come in kind of like the third guy or fourth guy role, but can still give you productive minutes and give you a lot more to work with, while still maintaining a really deep bench. I think that was the one thing Miami had was, quite a deep bench. And, you could get him for next to nothing. I'm sure Detroit would want him off their books if they had the chance for a couple of good rookies. Maybe they push Duncan Robinson, maybe they push Tyler Hero, but it's kind of almost like signing another Luke Kennard. It's not really going to fit Dwayne Casey's play style anyway. So they'd much rather a Derrick Jones Jr., someone of that caliber, and a couple of, maybe late second round picks that, Miami would have stashed anyway. So it doesn't really make any difference to Miami. They're just picking up a contract who can actually produce and, get them that win next year.
Yeah, so you'd want to hope he gives you win now experience. Is there a huge risk on the injury factor? I guess that's where I am on reduced role. Like, give him an off the bench role. He's someone who can bring sort of power, dunker spot action. He can handle at the post a little bit, handle the ball around the elbow, shoot maybe the odd three here and there. I'd like them to keep Robinson. Like, I think he's versatile enough to expand through the next few years of the Heat. He doesn't have the power and the size, I don't think. It's like he's going to come up
6'7".
against.
He just hasn't built his body up enough yet.
No, I don't think he's going to make like a Giannis type leap though. Like, he's not going to just.
But he's a shooting guard. He's not a power forward. Like, he's an oversized two guard that is ridiculously good at shooting the ball.
I'd like them to sort of bring in another powerful guy to help out Bam. I think that was, even though Bam's quite injured, I think they really struggled at the forward position, especially against a guy like Davis. I think it's only going to help them against the other teams. Like, it's not going to hinder them if he can stay healthy. It's not going to like change their rotation. They are in for a point guard. I don't know, they were in for Chris Paul. There's been some rumors about them trying to sign Chris Paul. I don't know if he's the right guy for them. You're right about putting the ball in Jimmy's hands. Then you're reducing the role of Goran Dragic. Maybe you're not making him play as many minutes, like as heavy minutes. He played a lot of minutes in that final series and broke down. And then, they've got another couple of years to kind of bring Kendrick Nunn through. You shuffle him down into the pack a little bit more and keep him away from being, a guy in the finals or in a crunch game that you have to rely on. He had, I think, 1 out of 4 games that were decent in that finals. But yeah, it's interesting. We'll have to run it through the trade machine, have a look at what we can pick up and expand on that during the podcast. And yeah, I think this is a pretty good idea.
It's not bad.
You got anything else to add to it?
No, I'd like to see it discussed more. So if you like, comment below if you're a Miami Heat fan.
Yeah, so like, share, and subscribe. This has been NBA Cold Calls. We're going to be doing these as many as possible over the next few weeks, see how they go. Plenty of different topics. Any other topics you want to hear us discuss, put down in the comments below. Like, share, and subscribe. Tell us what you think about this possible trade of Blake Griffin to the Heat to kind of shore up their forward spot for the next couple of years until he comes off contract. And yeah, like, share, and subscribe. Aussie's taking over the NBA.